Welcome! Today, we are going to break down something called the singing string. It's a really simple but honestly powerful technique to help make your speech feel a whole lot more fluid and connected.
So let's start with a question. Have you ever felt like you're actually fighting your own voice? You know, that feeling where getting words out is just choppy, it takes a ton of effort, and it just doesn't flow right?
If that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. It usually boils down to two different ways of speaking, what we'll call the stop-start-jerk, which feels like you're stacking separate bricks one by one, and then there's the singing string, which is way more like smooth, connected beads on a string. So, let's figure out how to get from one to the other.
Okay, let's really dive into this problem. Why is it that our voice can feel like it's constantly hitting the brakes?
Well, the whole issue is this habit that most of us don't even realize we have. We turn our voice box off in between words. And every single time your vocal cords stop vibrating, you have to restart your voice's motor, right? From a speech science perspective, each one of those restarts is a point of really high pressure. This constant stopping and starting, well, it creates friction, and it makes it way easier for blocks or stutters to happen, because you're repeatedly attacking each word from a complete dead stop. For instance, just take a super simple phrase like, "I want a coffee." With this stop-start habit, it just sounds disconnected. It sounds like this. I want a coffee. You can almost feel that pause, right? That hard restart after every single word.
Now, think about that for a second. In one simple four-word phrase, your voice's motor had to restart 4 separate times. That is a ton of extra work, and that's what creates that choppy, high-effort feeling we were talking about. So what's the alternative here? Let's get into the solution, this really simple idea called the singing string.
The singing string is basically the exact opposite of that stop-start habit. It's the practice of keeping your voice on, so keeping those vocal cords gently vibrating throughout an entire phrase. The goal is to connect the end of one word to the beginning of the next with this tiny, almost unnoticeable little hum.
So let's go back to our coffee example. Instead of 4 separate bricks, I want you to think of it as one continuous flow. I want a coffee. You hear that? The sound just flows together, almost like a song, without any of those harsh stops.
Now, I know this idea might still sound a little abstract, so a couple of simple analogies can really help make it feel more concrete.
First up, let's think about a garden hose. If you keep turning the faucet on and off, the water just comes out in these messy, uncontrolled splashes, right? The same thing is happening with your voice when you stop and start your breath between words. But if you just keep the water running, you get a smooth, steady stream. It's the exact same principle with your voice. A continuous flow of breath creates a continuous flow of sound. Simple as that. Or, here's another one. Think of a violinist. A good violinist doesn't lift the bow off the string between every single note. No way. They keep it moving to get that smooth, connected sound. Your breath is the bow, and the words, those are the notes. The key is to keep the bow moving. Okay, so this isn't just theory, it's a really practical tool you can start using literally right now. So here are 3 easy ways to practice. Let's actually do this together. Go ahead and put a hand on your throat, right over your voice box. You're going to want to feel this for yourself. All right, ready? We've got 3 modes: easy, medium, and challenge. First, let's start with easy mode, the hum test. With your hands still on your throat, say the phrase, "The sky is blue." The goal here is to feel one continuous vibration, a totally unbroken hum from that first th all the way to the final ooh sound. If you feel it stop, that means the string broke. No big deal, just take a breath and try again. Okay, next up, medium mode, the word glue. This is all about linking common phrases together. So instead of thank you, try to blend them into one smooth word, thank you. Good morning becomes good morning. You can feel how one word just kind of melts into the next. And finally, challenge mode, the one-breath sentence. This is where you bring it all into the real world. In your next conversation, just pick a short sentence and try to say the whole thing on a single steady exhale. The goal isn't speed, it's all about flow. Just focus on that feeling of sliding from one word to the next. So, the big takeaway here is this. Just by shifting your focus from forcing out individual words to creating a continuous flow of sound, you can totally change the physical sensation of speaking. So the question I want to leave you with is, what if speaking didn't have to feel like so much work? What if your voice could actually flow, just like a song?